Hi YouTube, how are you doing? Um, I got a special smile for my friends and my son Jonathan. Don't quit smiling. You got to. It does increase your happy endorphins. Even if you're having a sad day, kind of like me, for instance. I am. This time of year is really hard on me. Um, when you have limited family members or the ones you do have live in other states or that type of thing. So um, I've always felt a lot of compassion for people that don't have family, because the ones that do don't really realize what it's like for the ones who don't. It's hard. I mean, I have had, like, when my kids were little and whatnot, but you know, it's hard. It's not as hard as it used to be for me. I'm kind of okay with it, but I still feel for the ones that are struggling in that area. So, because I really am kind of a loner. Um, there was a, I'm not really an introvert, I'm more an extrovert. Um, but I am empathic, so I feel people, so it does make me tired and it sort of hurts, that type of thing. So, um, but yeah, I'm more an extrovert, you know. Um, there was a time in my life I wasn't, though, but that was due to complications such as a rotten childhood or whatever, made me not want to be around people, which was kind of unnatural for me anyway. I never really was happy about it, so that was hard too. So either way, but oh, there was something I was gonna say about that. Oh yeah, there was a post about being introvert, that you could lure introverts out into a crowd with food, but when the food is gone, they're gone. Well, I fast all day, so if I'm gonna go and be with people, I'll usually have snacks with them so they don't feel uncomfortable, you know, because nobody can lure me with anything, is what I'm trying to say. you know, if I want to be there, food makes no difference. Nothing anybody has. So, anyway, hope everybody's doing good. Doug went to the hospital yesterday and they did a bunch of tests, CAT scans and all that. And he does have some dislocated ribs and broken blood vessels, in his back, or the capillaries that cause the bruising, and really bad swollen legs. Yesterday, his legs weighed about the interns that turn or orderlies that helped the nurses. They two of them turned him over. They put him in a room while they tested him and whatnot, and they said his legs weighed like 40 pounds each, and he's a big guy anyway. I bet each one of his legs normally weigh 35 pounds. I'm serious. His calves are like that, you know, really, you know. So, but yeah, he's just built like a brick, you know, a brick with a big head. Well, you know, hi, Doug, if you watch me. He's sleeping right now. He fell asleep at his desk yesterday or last night. He got in about, oh, it was after 11. Um, they didn't want to give him like morphine because he had to drive home. I didn't know they were going to make him go to the hospital. He went into the clinic, but I kind of thought they might because of the CAT scan. I figured they'd want to do that, and they did. So they sent him over there and then said if he wasn't there in a half hour, um, they would call the police worried about him, but he got there, and then they didn't want to give him too much medicine so he could get home. So he did finally make it home. If he wasn't home by midnight, I was going to call. It's like, yeah, that's. He left about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He hasn't been sleeping at night, and he's been sleeping sitting up. He's tried a couple times, like once, to lay in his bed. That didn't work too good. He got stuck, and with pain. And a couple of times he tried laying on the floor on his back, and then once on his side. He said, and that was a big mistake. So yesterday they put injections of pain reliever in between the discs in his back, and gave him some morphine, but made it wear off, and then gave him really low doses of, like, I think he said 6 pills of some kind of opioid, some kind of pain reliever. I forget. One of the weakest ones. I had that after my operation and on my nose here. Uh, if you don't know, some of you, I had allergies so bad, literally my body was getting sick. My hair fell out. I was bald. Um, well, it ended up that I'm allergic to so many things, and I had a deviated septum from getting smacked. Well, they had to do an operation right here and open up the passageway in my nose. So, because I was losing my breath at nighttime, I couldn't breathe through my throat was swelling, and my nose wasn't working. So, and after that, and after I got tested for all my allergies, between them two things, I've gotten it under control and I feel better. At least I know what to stay away from if I can. But um, I usually can't. There's I'm allergic to paper, so like even in the bathroom, everything it's a issue. Especially like if my hands are wet, or if I had just washed my hands and Doug will hand me a piece of mail or something, I can feel it in my. It starts getting to my pores right away. The smallest thing like that, and plastics and metals, and except for sterling silver and platinum. Those are the only two things I can be around. So even silverware, so that leaves out plastic utensils, it leaves out silverware and wooden utensils, so pots and pans and everything I cook with, unless it's glass, in the oven and put it on a glass or you know uh, stoneware that's been, well, I'm not allergic to stones, so that's really good, you know. Um, so anyway, but a lot of food allergies and that type of thing, and um, I can't have like tea at all, green or black, or which is really a bummer because I love orange pekoe and Earl Grey are my two favorites, and I can't have them. So, but I still might one day, I have black and green tea in the house, but I gotta throw it out. I get it once in a while, and Doug will have a cup, and then we just throw it away, which is terrible, but you know, next time he should just get a little box, but he gets the ones on sale, and then there's just a big bunch. And it's like he gets these packs of cocoa to drink, and now they've just been sitting there. So it's like, wow, oh well, that's what happened. But what a waste! One time I took in a rescue potbelly pig these people got, and they thought it was going to be a miniature, but it wasn't, and she ended up to be like 240-pound pig named Oreo because she had white in the middle and black on both ends, and she lived in a dog kennel with my great big dog. I had a Newfoundland Great Dane mix. Well, Doug did. It was his dog, sort of. But Oreo and Buddy lived together till Oreo passed away from old age. But these little girls used to own her, and she was a house pig, and she loved M&Ms and popcorn, and the little girls would share with her, and she was a real funny pig. I had a pig for my kids when they were little, so they could be around some farm animals and raise one, and we ended up selling it to the neighbor um, to use as a sow. But that was Miss Piggy, and she would play pickle in the middle with my kids. Would throw the frisbee, and she'd run to one, run to the other, and my youngest son would lay down and kind of pretend like he was dying. He'd just lay there. She'd run over to him and just start screaming, just about crying. It was terrible. I told him, you guys got to quit that. She's getting like emotionally disturbed. Seriously, she had tears coming out of her eyes. I said, okay, that's enough of that. But I used to cough a lot because of my allergies and my hay fever. Well, I'd be sitting on the porch having a cigarette, and of course you cough more too. But my pig, I go, my pig would do it back at me. It's like, oh my goodness. Yeah, she was pretty cool, really cool. Poor thing was in the barn with her piglets, and a bear got in there and slaughtered them. So that was a bummer, you know. Yeah. Doug has a Nate, which is really unusual. He has a Nate for a day and a half now. He had some beer though last night and tonight. Like I think one, and he took some pills and is getting some much needed sleep. But he can't stretch out his body and take the weight off his legs, and he's got high blood pressure, so um, his legs were swollen because of that. But yeah, that's terrible, you know. Oh, I watched a little movie. It was like, 39 minutes long, I think. The Prophet Daniel, and that was pretty neat. I had a great grandfather's name was Daniel Slauson with a Ian. Um, no, yes, yes. I keep thinking Ian Owen. Yeah, it was. Um, I didn't know this until I was 34, and then my grandfather's name was Albert Slauson. But yeah, I didn't find my family till I was that age, so it's not like I'm forgetful or brain dead, or it's just that I just really didn't know them, so. But it's cool to find out where you come from, you know, so. Oh, it's just a beautiful day today. It's going to be warming up through the night. We had some sub-zero temperatures and quite a bit of snow. There's like 2 feet out there, but today was sunny, and tomorrow's going to be above freezing for the foreseeable future. They think through Christmas time, which is pretty neat. So, unless it's a kid that likes to ice skate or ski or slide, or they get a new sled, or I remember getting a new sled. Well, it was one of them mini boggins that roll up, and dangerous pieces of plastic with the handle formed in it, if you know what they are. Um, there was just enough frozen grass on our hill where I went down the hill on that thing, but other sleds would have ripped up the grass, in our yard. But yeah, that was a bummer that year. When you get something new to slide and have fun, and then you can't do it. So, but eventually, yes, we had snow. Yeah, I would actually probably go sliding again if I had like a toboggan, um, you know, and not too dangerous of a hill. And I'll definitely be snowboarding again. I think I'm gonna force myself to do it this year because last year I was still so injured I didn't even want to think about it. I mean, if and I've been well, like I did some of my yoga with my balancing. I stand on one leg and then put my leg up, and then I'll put it out straight, you know, in front of me, standing up. But if you can, bring your leg up and hold it in front of you, standing on one leg, and then put your other one out in front of you, that is really awesome for your balance. And the same with warrior pose. I had a really and extended warrior. I had a really hard time doing that. Still kind of lose my balance on my where I had my broken toes, but it's getting better. But that's where you stand on one leg, put your arm out like Superman, or you don't have to. You can cross your arms, stand on one leg, and put your other leg out and back you. But then a true warrior, put your one arm out, your leading arm. The leg you're standing on is the arm you want to put out. So if it's your right, you put your right arm out and your left arm up in the air with your left leg back. That's the true warrior pose. And even the sun salutation pose, like two really good, easy yoga poses that keep you in shape even if you're not really good at balancing, is just to start by touching your toes and then go into downward dog and maybe even try and stretch through your um, legs if you can. Grab your legs and put your head parallel with your body if you can do that. If you can't, just touch your toes and then put your arms up into the sky and get on your tiptoes and reach as far up as you can and just stretch and stretch. Come down in front of you and release your energy. It's almost like Tai Chi in that sense. Now, there's a part of the sun salutation routine genre that actually opens your lower chakras, which are rather Satanistic, and you have to be really mindful when you go into certain poses who's in that area of your mind when you're doing that, if you get my drift like that. So, anyway, yeah, I could probably open a studio. I see people that have either martial art or yoga studio, that type of thing, and I'm always combative with them. I haven't been. I mean, I didn't haven't my heart is combative because I am such a stickler for if you're going to learn different arts in the world, know exactly what you're getting into and what you're doing, and beware of teachers that do not know what they're doing. There was a martial art, almost like a free for all studio in our I forget what they called their funky little selves. They went out of business, but it was next to this old smoke shop I used to go to, and they were standing out there talking, and I was thinking it was like barefoot something, and I'm thinking I'll kick your fucking asses with my tennis shoes on, standing there listening to these people that were the instructors in this dojo, and I'm like, oh no, no, please, you know. It's hard for me to keep my mouth shut sometimes, you know. And I mean, I'm not. afraid of anybody. It's not like that at all. Um, it's just because I do have the grace of God in my heart. If I didn't, I would be directly combative. And I have been. And I might be again, but, normally I'm not, you know. Mm. But if I see somebody getting hurt or somebody's attacking somebody with their mouth or something like that, I'm all over it. You're not keeping me out of it. That's just the way I am. And God knows me. That's how He made me. So, my great big father used to pick on my mom and my brother, and I'd jump in that shit. I'd be like really tiny and threatening. It's always been me. I really can't do anything else, you know, so whatever it takes. I'd rather have them beat on me, but if I think they're going to beat on me and go back to beating on them, I'm going to do something about it, that type. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I won't tell you about it. I was going to tell you about one huge lump of crap I had to take care of one time, but it's like, oh, whatever. Pushy, big, sloppy creeps, whatever. Big bad men thinking they can push smaller people around, you know. That's always been kind of a. Well, I don't like big bad women either, but there's really nobody that gets up in my face like that. Takes even a kind of a ballsy man to even do it. Or I would call him stupid, but yeah, that too. so, so anyway, what I guess I'm trying to say is if you're a friend of mine and I will always defend you and I am loyal, that's the type of person I am, and honest. That's my number one thing. Number one thing. Number one. If I catch somebody lying to me, you're so out of my life. You know, I might keep you around for shits and giggles, but, no, I'm just kidding. No, I really will. It's like, okay, that's who you are. I'm all good with that. But, no, I don't do that. I've had to face monsters with the truth, and I will not back down. Won't. So I got the lighting kind of chill in here right now because in case my kitty wants to come back in, she's still not feeling good, and I'm still washing her wound and taking care of it. It was a carbuncle underneath her teeth that popped, and it's the second one down on the left. And now she just lays on her side and lets me clean it, and then I clean it with peroxide and iodine, which makes benzodine. So I take that solution, clean it out really good, and then I put 3-in-1, or not 3-in-1, triple antibiotic. Yeah, 3-in-1 oil. That'll do the trick every time. So, yeah. But yeah, she's been sleeping back in her chair. She's got a lazy boy in my room, and that's her bed. So, and she's been in there 2 days now, which is good because she had been hanging out by the wood stove in the living room. So, the radiating heat makes it really nice for her old bones. you know, some of us old timers know what that feels like. Warmth. Oh, 1 year it was like, oh, I'm gonna say, was it 2015? I went to Texas to visit family because they wanted me to, and I was freezing. There was literally no sunshine. It got really gray skies early that year, early in the fall. A lot of clouds, a lot of rain, and all spring. It's like all summer long. It was nothing but cloudy, and cold. So I got down to Texas and I was like, just warm in my bones. I was sitting out in 104 degrees, just soaking it up on my phone, talking to Doug in Minnesota, or the mother of my granddaughter in North Dakota, and they were kind of cold still, but yeah, um, and it was kind of a hard trip too because I was still really sick, not feeling well. So, um, yeah, that was rough, but in another way, it was really good. So, but my relatives thought I was crazy. Now they know for sure I am. Hello, y'all. But yeah, sitting out in the hot while they were in there trying to cool off. So, but I did drink a lot of water. Then they had to get used to me not really eating like they did, you know. So, um, like usual people do, you know. But yeah, if Doug wakes up, I made boneless, skinless chicken breasts in the oven with a lid on so they'd stay real tender. And I baked baby carrots with butter on them. So if he wakes up and is hungry, I think I'm just going to have some eggs and toast tonight. So, or maybe, I don't know. I don't know yet. Not sure. I guess whatever that time brings. Now I'm thinking pizza. I got pizza in the freezer, but I'm saving it for another day. So, um, trying to keep away from, treats. And every once in a while, I just have to, it's like I'll go a couple days a week. If you go 2 days without having sugar, you can have a little bit of sugar the rest of the days. That's what I do. So, and I'm really careful about it. My sugar and fats, it's like, yeah, anything extra you put in you is in you. Then you have to either work to burn it off or not put it in you. It's easier not to put it in me, you know. So, um, some of I've told you before, I call it my pig out days. I'll take like, 1 day a month, and I might eat all day. No, I won't, but I will eat whatever I want and not even worry about it, whether it's like pizza and chips and chocolate all in one time. Then I won't worry about. See, you can do that if you eat right the rest of the time. Is what I'm trying to say. Then you can take your days and have your treats. And it can be all at once. So you may not feel the greatest the next day, to be honest, but then when you do eat something good that day, then you're like, oh, thank God for real food. Do you ever just like eat a salad and think, oh God, that's so good? It's just like the best thing in the world. That's why a lot of people are like putting down these new Nada burgers from McDonald's. Asked if people would try it, and the guy that it was like supposed to be a funny meme, but I'm thinking, why not? You know, even though if it's got soy or beans in it or something, I'm not really supposed to have it. But if I've been careful, like if I don't have French fries, which I'm allergic to with it, or chocolate or vanilla or something, if I was just out and about and wanted something lighter than meat, I would probably have a milk. Go and get a milk somewhere else, not a McDonald's, but I'd go get like a quart of milk and have not a burger. Try the thing like on a hot day when you don't want a lot of heavy stuff. Why not? People are like, yeah, we have eye teeth because we're carnivores. I know people that have totally straight teeth and don't don't really have, like incisors. pointy or anything. So, what's that? Does that mean they just gnaw their meat off, the bone, or, you know? Oh, that sounds good. I have some corn on the cob frozen. I'm just going to throw it in the oven someday. In the husk still, like you can do on the barbecue. You can do it in the oven too. You actually, if it's sweet corn, you cook it. If it's just fresh, at 350 at about 15 or 20 minutes, you'll know because you can smell it. And actually, if you feel it and it's just warm, you don't want to overdo sweet corn anyway because then it gets tough. But out of the freezer, I would probably put it on 400 for about 20 minutes. So, and watch it so it don't burn. Maybe flip it over once. So, because the moisture in there will keep it and cook it like that for you. So, well, it's about all that's on my mind. Um, Wanted to say hi because when I do have time, I've been exhausted. So, because things have been hectic. So, anyway, thank you for joining me. Wish me luck. Hopefully, I can do another video tomorrow. Um, I love you. Thank you for being here. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.